Hey everybody, it's Keith with the L1 Automotive Training Channel. And in today's video, we've got a Enclave, I believe, 2011. So unfortunately, I don't have video of the diagnosis, but we will be completing the repair on this entire video. So we actually have the original module is on the bench. This is a donor module. It is a E39. That's going to be fuzzy because I've got the auto focus on. All right, so we're going to read the data out of the original module. We're going to use IO Terminal, which I'll put a link in the description of where to get this tool. We're going to read all the data out of that. We're going to clone it into the donor module, and then we're going to have to follow up using GM's SPS out on the vehicle. So I will show you why and what we're doing with that. So let's see here. Let me get my bearings of where all my camera and stuff is. So we need to actually hook up the IO terminal. So we're going to plug that into our laptop. And then I have this connector here that goes to an OBD connection, which is going directly to the Go Diag box, which is just a breakout box. I have cables made for most GM modules. So from the serial 25-pin serial connector, I've made a cable that goes to the connectors for the E39s. I've got them for almost all GM modules. So IO Terminal, we're seeing less and less support for the tool. I don't know if there's going to be a whole lot of new development for it, but that's fine. It does what I need it to do. It is available. Stuff like HexProg and Flex and Kest3, those HexProg, which you saw me use in another video, also has coverage for this module, I believe. I'm not sure. I'm going to use IO Terminal. I like using it, and link in the description on where to get it. So, and these are just friends of mine that sell tools. I don't get like kickbacks on that. If it's an Amazon link, anything I'm using here, I'll put links on those. Those are affiliate links, so I appreciate it if you purchase those, but that does help the channel out. All right, let me get to, here we go. So I've got the IO Terminal software opened up. Actually, we're gonna click up and turn on, oh, something happened. There we go. Got the Go Diag turned on. It's drawing about 0.5 amp. Now that we're done with this on the bench, we're going to take this module, I'm going to turn it off. We're actually going to go put it in the vehicle and finish the software update with SPS. So the reason why we don't just do this with SPS is because these have a environmental identifier. And General Motors, on their Global A architecture vehicles, which I have a list on my website of all the Global A architecture vehicles, it is not the list of GDS2 vehicles. Those are conflated as being the same all the time. They're not the same. Just because it's GDS2 doesn't mean it's Global A. If it is Global A, it's definitely a GDS2 car. Kind of like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle isn't square. Anyways, we're going to take this replacement module now and go place it into the car, hook up SPS, and flash it. And if the vehicle cranks, then not only did we diagnose it correctly, we also flashed it correctly. So this car was a crank no start again. I didn't diagnose it, Zach did. But as there's no crank request out of the PCM when everything else is correct. So should have a crank condition when we get done. We don't know what else is wrong with the car. There's no telling. The engine could be blown up. But if it attempts to crank, then we win. So let's go put this in the vehicle and flash it with SPS. All right, so, I mean, if I was right, then this car should start, and then I can go in and finish up the SPS flash. I mean, it should start and not have any codes or anything related to having the wrong Unit 10 calibration, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna, let's see here, get her clipped in there. And the phone's ringing. Oh, it's the work phone, hold up. All right, my bad, had to grab that phone. That was the Fiat customer. That car still broke exactly the same way, so wasn't the module. Unfortunately, a misdiagnosis on that part. Probably something else going on. Anyways, I just finished connecting the PCM while I was on the phone with him. Honestly, this thing should crank right up and start. So let's take a look here. Or, well, I actually don't know if it's going to start. It should crank, though. Hey! Oh, God. It's missing, and I heard chain rattle, but she's running. And a check engine right. So while it's still running, put her in gear. Oh God, harsh engagement too. Let's go drive her over to the shop, get her inside, see if we can. Come on. gonna say, I got these remotes for the doors for a reason. That runs really weird. It's got some decimated motor mounts as well. Let's see here. All right. Like I said, we were right. The cloning all worked and good, started right up, didn't have to do anything else, but we're going to go ahead and program with SPS, so I'm going to show you that process. That's how you would do like a replacement module normally, or a car that's not Global A. We would just go do the process I'm about to show you. All right, so we just got it pulled in. You guys saw it start and ran, so we were right, and the cloning obviously worked. Car hooked up. Whoa, got the MDI down there, our MDI2 hooked up. It's the car's key on, engine off. The headlight, we went and turned auto headlights off. We've got our maintainer hooked up. That's from Isaac. I'll put a link in the description for everything we're using. It's hooked up to the car. It's very helpful, by the way, when you put them on the side of the lift. So, all right, we're logged into SPS. So basically, we're gonna click off of this screen. This is just, sometimes SPS decides to bite the dust for the day, and sometimes it doesn't, so you gotta go a couple different routes. See, this one says there's a update available. So we'll click update device. We'll click start update. And we're gonna wait. Okay, the update was done, so I just clicked connect. It actually pulled the VIN for the car, 2013. That's the same. I'm not gonna go through that. I'm checking it and show you. We're gonna go ahead and go to replace and reprogram. We're gonna click next. Sorry, I'm not screen recording this. It's a lot of work to put it on the work laptop, so I don't wanna do that. We'll go to engine control module. We're just doing programming. We're using normal, not a vehicle calibration index. It's going to check VIN slots. It's going to take up our VIN slot. It should get the tool lock as well. Yes, I want to use one of the VIN slots. Yeah, vehicle data. That's the car dinging because we're talking to it. All right. This is a list of all those sectors. You know, this is Unit 10's the engine one, or maybe it's the slave operating system. Either way, we'll go to next. So it's going to change. All those are the same if you look. Oh, no, that one's different too. 713 to 951. It could be that this module was behind on updates too already. That might have been what that was from. But anyways, this is the one that was incorrect. This one shows a number on it, so it's because this module, the module that we cloned from, was out of date, so it needed an update anyways. So we're going to go next. It just says if the HVAC or remote control lock receiver stops communicating, you'll have to power cycle them, so I'll click next. Yes, it has been replaced. Now, this top one's downloading the file, the bottom one's flashing it to the car. It actually should go pretty quick since most of the firmware and software is the same. So the temporary file's on the laptop, and now it's going to flash it from the laptop through the MDI into the vehicle. It's going to go slow at the beginning, but watch, it'll probably go pretty fast. I'll go ahead and just not pause. And if I have to speed it up, take note that we're at 2 p.m. on the laptop. It's gonna make a fool out of me too, watch. And take longer than it should. Because I was like, oh yeah, it should. I'm gonna speed it up right here, so. Whoa, and then we get this complete. So it gives us the VIN, the module, the time and date stamp, and the warranty claim code if we had a problem, like if we were at a GM dealer. And then any specific stuff we need to do. I'll view later my profile, and then I'm done. So I can click clear DTCs. This will take a minute. Some cars faster than others. When it gets done, we'll jump in there and start it up and see if that check engine light's still on. But overall, we don't actually know what else is wrong with the vehicle. We just know that it was a no crank, no start when it came to us, and Zach diagnosed it as the PCM is why it didn't crank, and he was obviously correct. start it up. It does not immediately have a check engine light, so service the park assist. Yeah, okay. Starts and runs, everything's up to date. Our work is done. We'll just get a post scan on it. So recap, clone the module, then update it with SPS, make sure it's all up to date and good to go. So like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Let me know if you like these kinds of videos as well.